I start heat, what the first thing comes in your mind, that heat should be, that heat is a form of energy, right? Heat is a form of energy. First thing. Second thing, there are several sources from where I can get this heat form of the energy. The most important one is sun, right? Why? Because sun is the overall source for our earth. The sun is the primary source of heat energy. Okay. See, just right now I told you, and this is written also. So the other sources of heat energy: electricity, fossil fuels, radioactive metals, the mantle of the earth. Heat is produced in our daily life. There is a friction. Friction occurs when two objects rub against each other. That also. So overall, please tell me about the different sources of heat energy. Heat energy. What will be the sources? It may be artificial, it may be natural. It may be natural, right? So in natural, it will be sun, it will be fossil fuels. Okay, then earth metal, mantle of earth, radioactive. Okay. Now artificials are what? Cooking gas. Okay. Now boiling water. Okay. Then your this electricity. So these are the artificial examples, these are the natural examples of your heat energy sources. Heat energy sources. Okay. Next, the uses of heat in our daily life. Where I can use this heat? I can use heat in cooking. I can boiling water, drying food, or drying clothes, or providing warmth. Even nowadays it is winter, right? So heat is necessary to provide our warmth to our body temperature, unless it will hazardous to us. Okay. Now see the next, heat and temperature. Heat and temperature, these are the two common words, but people mixture them. Heat is the form of energy, okay, and temperature is the parameter that measures this energy, measures. Okay, so see how much heat. First, it is a form of energy, so it will be a calorie, right? SI unit will be calorie, or SI unit will be joule. Sorry, SI unit will be joule. Okay, fine. It is a SI unit joule, and but I am saying that heat is the parameter which measures heat. That means temperature will says that its value is high or low. Low amount of energy is released. That means temperature measures the degree of hotness or coolness of an object. You can say it is a parameter parameter that measures the hotness or coolness. Okay, so if anybody is releasing heat energy. Okay, object, if any object is releasing heat energy, then it will be high temperature, because the direction of heat energy flow is from higher to lower value, higher to lower value. Okay, so temperature will move, or temperature will flow from high value to the low value. Okay, so hot objects we get high value, low cold objects we have low value of temperature. Okay, so the SI unit of temperature is your Kelvin standard. Okay, Kelvin, that means K. You understood? Next is the heat flow and its effect. See, just right now I told you that heat flows from higher value to the lower value, and it will flow up to that time when the two bodies or two objects have the same temperature or equilibrium, reach the equilibrium position. So see what you have to written. When a substance is heated, the particle receives more energy and they move faster. The particles move more vigorously. They take up the space. This cause the substance expands, get bigger. When the hot substance cool down, it contracts, gets smaller. So go back to the original size. What they actually want to say is that if suppose I have the substance, okay, now this substance receive heat energy. Okay, now when they receive this, they start vibrating more vigorously. Okay, and they will liberate energy. So liberate energy, so it become high temperature value. Okay, so they will start releasing energy, and after releasement, if it is not flowing, it is in the same solid substance, then it will be your release energy, and the temperature will be down. But if it is in the gas, suppose I have a gas over here, Now, if it is receiving energy, heat energy, then what? It will vibrates more faster and it will moves more faster, and so it will get the space. So the objects start expanding. When you heat such kind that kind of object, it expands and becomes the bigger size. Now it won't remain. It will have to attain the equilibrium temperature, right? So the temperature goes down, and when the temperature goes down, it's come to the contraction and attains the original state shape. Okay, so I can say this one is the heat flow and the effect. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
So what you will do next is heat as a quantity. How can you say heat as a quantity? See, the temperature of a substance increases on heating and decreasing by cooling. That also we know that. So the amount of heat gained or lost by different bodies in different situations are found to be dependent on the number of factors. What are the factors? Mass of the substance, nature of the substance, amount of the energy supplied. So this is very important. The rise in temperature or the quantity of heat absorbed by a substance depend on the following factors: mass of the substance, nature of the substance, and amount of the heat supplied. Okay, because different objects use and different situations, they need different amount of heat energy, maybe for state change or increment of such values. Everything is different. So how can you say this thing? You will say that anything any amount of heat gain or loss by a different substance or different situations, it depends on the following three factors. Okay, so about the heat units, right? So first, the SI unit will be what? Joule only, because it is the form of energy. So for the measure of heat energy, heat required to raise the temperature of 1 gram of water by 1 degree Celsius is chosen as the standard unit, and this is it is known as calorie. So 1 calorie definition is always asked. Okay, so in 1 calorie, I will say that 1 gram of water raise temperature to 1 degree Celsius. Okay, so the amount of heat required to raise the temperature of 1 gram of water by 1 degree Celsius to the standard unit, and it is called calorie. So the heat energy required calorie. So this is the definition of calorie. Kilocalorie, what will be 1000 times? Okay, so experiment is found that 1 gram of water to 1 degree Celsius, 4.186 joules is required. So you will say that 1 calorie is equal to 4.186 joule. This is very important. Okay. See, just right now I told you about the flow of heat. That is higher level to the lower level, right? Similarly, the temperature also from when suppose I have a cup of tea and it is very hot. Okay, so when I come in contact with the hot cup of tea, it has high temperature value. My hands get contacted, so heat will flow from what? Cup to my hand. Cup to my hand. Now both with the heat is will be gained by my hand and lose by your cup. Now they will attain an equal temperature and everything will be maintained. Okay. So this is even when you hold the cold ice cube in your hand. What happens? Ice cube in your hand. What happened? Ice cube is more colder and this our hand is more hotter. So heat will transfer from our hand to ice cubes. So ice cube get melted. Keep in mind, this is the reason behind this. So what I will say that it's higher level to the lower level. Similarly, when two bodies are brought in temperature in contact, the heat flows from the higher temperature to the lower temperature. This flow continues until both get same temperature. This is called thermal equilibrium. Okay, what is thermal equilibrium then? What is thermal equilibrium? Read it, Viren. I will say that specific heat is a very crucial parameter of any substance. Every substances have their own specific heat, either water or any kind of element, everything. So every time, whenever there is a heat kind of instruments or like this, they always specify the specific heat. Because if latent heat calculations or any delta q heat calculations, we need this specific heat. Okay, so specific heat is the amount of heat required to raise the temperature of a unit mass of a substance by 1 degree Celsius. Okay, generated by C. Unit of specific heat, obviously heat है तो जूल ही होगा. But since it is saying that unit gram per unit gram per unit mass per unit degree Celsius temperature increasing, so it will be what? Joule per kg degree Celsius, means like this way. Okay, this is the unit of your specific heat. Okay. Advantages of high specific heat of water. What are the advantages? Now, due to high specific heat of water, it can be used for for heating as well as the cooling purposes. Main first, fermentation. Owing to the high specific heat of water, store large quantity of heating it as comparatively lower temperature, okay, substances. Therefore water is large quantity stored heat which is capable of giving off. Thus water is used as a water bottles for fermentations. Okay, is this okay? They are directly saying that water have high value of specific heat. Okay, specific heat. So it stores large amount of so it stores large amount of heat. So that's why they are using as itna. First one. Second one is what? To prevent freezing the bottle wines and juices. Since water have high value, so the cold countries where just like where wines and juice bottles are used, they are kept under water. Why? Because water have high specific heat. So water is capable of giving a large amount of heat, right? Okay. So it prevents them for any freezing, furthermore freezing. Clear? Third point, it is used as a coolant. Why? Because water is used as a coolant in car radiators. Many times you see that in cars you need water, right? Why? Because in car radiators water is used as a coolant. Since water have a high specific heat, it absorbs large amount of excess heat. Na? Since it is a high specific heat, so when your car get more heated, it absorbs all those heats. Okay, so heat energy produced by automobile engines without much increase in temperature. Then second, last one is land and sea breezes. What are land breezes? These are the wind, right? One is from land and one arises from the seas. Okay, the specific heat of water is about 5 times that of sand. Therefore, mass of water absorbs gives out 5 times more heat than equal amount of sand. Okay, thus water takes more time to heat up or cool down. This gives rise to cool sea breeze during day and land breeze during night near the sea coast. This happens in the sea coast. So they are comparing the specific heat of water and sand. Okay, so water specific heat is more than sand, and sand is just 5 times of water specific heat is equal to 5 times of sand specific heat. Okay, so that's why amount of heat is absorbed more, and so heating up and cooling up process is more late. So they can give rise to land breeze and sea breeze in the daytime, land breeze in the night time. It is very important questions also for MCQs. Okay, specific heat, right? Specific heat. What is specific heat? Specific heat of a substance is very unique. What is mean by this specific heat? It in SI unit, the unit of specific heat is joule. Okay, per kg per degree Celsius. Joule per kg per degree Celsius. Last class we have discussed. And what is specific heat? It is the heat required to raise the temperature of a unit mass of a substance by 1 degree Celsius. Unit mass of a substance by 1 degree Celsius. So when I am talking about your this part, now conductors and insulators, what they are actually substances. See, we know lots of examples of heat conductors or heat insulators. Heat insulators, you can say. Okay, or bad conductor. We have no very lots, but in the terms of specific heat, I will say that low specific heat are conductors in the sense we have metals. Very good. Okay, but in high specific heat we have various types of insulators and even non-metals also. Non-metals. Okay, now you have several examples, that is different case. Now see the next point. We will discuss some of the formulas, right? For basic formulas of your this transfer of heat. Okay. Now see, I have the time duration where the temperature rises or where the temperature decreases. The specific heat of a substance, that also we know, that is specific for every substances, and the mass of the substance is given. So the quantity of heat gain. This is the quantity of heat gain, that is Q. Q is equal to mCt. Q is equal to mCt. So either I am gaining or I am losing heat. Okay, the formula is same, that is Q is equal to mCt. Formula will be remain same. So heat capacity, see, you will say, ma'am, heat contained in that body. That means if that is the also the heat required by the body through 1 degree Celsius. Okay, and it is depends upon the mass and also the material. Clear? So how can I say that what is the definition of heat capacity? So you will say that a heat requires to raise the temperature of 1 degree Celsius is called a heat capacity of that substance. Or you can say thermal capacity. Some of the books say thermal capacities also. Clear? So if equal of masses of water and copper is heated to 1 degree Celsius, then the larger amount of heat has to be supplied to water. Keep in mind. So what is heat capacity? Heat capacity is the amount of your heat required by the body to 1 degree Celsius temperature. Only 1 degree Celsius of temperature. So heat capacity is equal to mass into specific heat. Mass into specific heat. Okay. So what will be the your SI unit? The SI unit is joule per degree Celsius. Joule per degree Celsius. Okay. Why? Because we want to raise 1 degree Celsius temperature. So one thing is important. I already told you about heat capacity, and I am also told you about specific heat capacity. Okay. So specific heat capacity is per kg substance. That is mass is defined. Mass is defined. Okay, but in heat capacity I can take any mass, that is mass is not defined, mass is not defined. So this is the basic difference between both the two. Okay, see air will be written see that specific heat is applicable to the unit mass of a substance, heat capacity is applicable to the whole mass of the body. This is very important line, so you will write from here to here. Okay, note it down beta. कैलोरीमेट्री ये एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट प्रिंसिपल है. ओके, एंड इन आई थिंक इन क्लास 12 और इन ग्रेजुएशन में तो होता ही है, बट इन क्लास 12 ऑल्सो दिस इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट एज अ प्रैक्टिकल ऑल्सो. व्हाट इज कैलोरीमेट्री? एक्चुअली व्हेन द हॉटर ऑब्जेक्ट इज ब्रॉट इन कॉन्टैक्ट विद द कोल्डर ऑब्जेक्ट ना, what we kept there are two beakers, one is the bigger size and one is the smaller size, and in one there is a hot water, another one is a cold water. Okay, and when the hotter is brought to the colder one, what we measure, there is a heat loss. I told you that higher temperature always flows to the lower temperature. This is the direction of the flow of heat. Okay, now when it is that, so what happens, higher temperature value or high heat value loses its heat, and the colder one gains, right? So what, there is a change in the state. Okay, means temperature is gained and lose, but the state remains same. Okay, only heat is lost and heat is gained from the system to the surrounding, nothing else happen. So this is called the principle of calorimetry. So in one word, if I write principle of calorimetry, I will say heat loss is equal to heat gain. But how can you say this thing, that is when the hotter body bring contact to the your colder one, there is some heat gain and heat loss, but in this entire process there will be no change of state, no change of state. Okay, means those the body having higher temperature or lower temperature, they never change their state, but just heat loss and heat gain happen. Okay, it is very important about latent heat, because latent heat comes ये स्टेट चेंज करता है. ओके, कीप इन माइंड latent state changes the state. Voice is breaking on my content. Heat is the heat actually which changes the state. Okay, suppose they are fusion, vaporization and all this. See what we know about fusion, we told that fusion is the process in which solid changes to liquid, solid changes to liquid. Is this okay? Solid changes to liquid, that means I can say fusion is also a melting process. Okay, so what I will say, the change in a state from a solid state to a liquid state is called fusion or melting. The fixed temperature at which solid changes to liquid is called melting point or fusion point. So the melting point of our ice is 0 degree Celsius. They are saying about the fusion process. Similarly, vaporization process. So what you can say, the fusion process happens, or the vaporization process in which liquid changes to vapor, or liquid state changes to gaseous state. What happens? Temperature remains constant. The more important fact is temperature remains constant. Temperature is constant. So when temperature is constant, where I come to know about the processes which involve latent heat. So you can say the latent heat is what, this is the amount of heat required when we change the temperature, when we change the state through which we keep the temperature same. Okay, through which we keep the temperature same. So see, they will say that the amount of heat required to change the state of a substance without any change in temperature is called latent heat. SI unit similar, same, joule per kg. Okay, I also explained you last class that joule, calorie, all are the units of energy. Okay, so temperature remains constant during melting and vaporization, even heat is supplied continuously. This is because the melting point of a solid is reached, all the heat energy supplied to weaken the intermolecular forces between the molecules of the solid. This increases the intermolecular spaces, resulting in the change in the state from solid to liquid. Thus, heat energy does not increase the kinetic energy of the molecules while the solid is melting to liquid. Hence, no rise in temperature during the state. You understood? See, they are saying actually intermolecular spaces, molecular spaces, okay, and kinetic energy of molecules, energy of molecules. Okay, now this kinetic energy when increases, beta, the molecules start vibrating and rises the temperature. This results in change in temperature. Change in temperature. Whereas intermolecular spaces result what? State change. State change means I know that solid have less space, no space. Actually, liquid have less space and gaseous have more space. Intermolecular space. I am talking about intermolecular spaces. So when there is change in a state point, suppose there is a change in a state point and I am continuously supplying heat. Okay, heat energy. What will happen? There will be change in intermolecular space. This heat is used to change the intermolecular space, not to change the kinetic energy of the molecules. Okay, so what happens? The state changes, and this heat is called latent heat. This heat is called latent heat. Okay, discussing types of latent heat. Why? Because we have fusion, we have vaporization. So I have to say na, latent heat of fusion, latent heat of vaporization. So what did you mean by latent heat of fusion? They are saying when it is found that 1 kg of ice at 0 degrees Celsius required 3.36, okay, joule of energy to change water at the same time. This is known as latent heat of fusion of ice. Okay, or I can see what is latent heat of fusion. I will say the latent of heat of fusion in which 1 kg of a substance is changing from solid state to liquid state at the same temperature. Okay, is this okay? So
Yes, ma'am.
it is given for ice. I can say the fusion quantity of heat required to convert 1 unit mass of a substance from solid state to liquid state is melting point without changing the temperature. This is called fusion. Similarly, for vaporization, if I say for water, that water to water vapors, it will be 100 degrees Celsius temperature of 1 kg water.
Yes.
Hmm? You understood the logic, right? So similarly, I can write the latent heat of vaporization definition as it is substance is required, heat required to convert unit mass of a substance from liquid stage to vapor state at its boiling point. It is on the melting point, it is on the boiling point. Okay, when I can say because we know several kind of processes: condensation, evaporation, vaporization, fusion, sublimation. These are the various kind of processes. Okay, but how can we know that in any process heat is liberated or heat get absorbed? Okay, how can we know that heat is liberated liberated or absorbed? This is more important, right? Absorbed. So I will say that there are several processes such as condensation is the reverse of vaporization. I know that water vapors get condensed into liquid part, right? This is called condensation. Okay, so I will say that during vaporization water is heat is absorbed, right? And then only the substance get up. Okay, so when condensation happens, see, when I am saying water is in liquid, I am saying water is in liquid and it changes to vapors. Okay, it changes to vapor. So in this process, they will absorb heat energy. Okay, what we will do? They will absorb heat energy. But vaporization, water vapors to liquid water. It is the process of condensation, right? Condensation process, condensation process, and this process is called vaporization process. So when it is condensation process and it is vaporization process, and vaporization heat is absorbed and it is just reversed, so I will say heat is given off, heat is given off. So what I will do, minus h. Now it will be minus h. You understood? Absorbed and where heat is given off. So it is very important difference between evaporation and vaporization. See, what happens in evaporation takes place in any temperature, okay, but vaporization takes place only at boiling point. Now, evaporation is a slow and silent process, but vaporization is the very fast and violent process. Okay. Now, occurrence. If I see the occurrence, it takes place on the liquid surface, but it takes place on the entire mass of the liquid, over the entire mass of the liquid. Now, cooling effect causes cooling, and it does not causes cooling. Evaporation creates the cooling effect, whereas vaporization or boiling never creates an cooling effect. So this is a very different important difference between evaporation and vaporization, and students are really very confused in this. समझ में आ गया आपको? चलो. Uh, uh, beside in summer days na, you want to sit below tree because there is happening transpiration, or you want to sit nearby seasides or any kind of your river. Okay, why? Because there is evaporation process occurs, and this creates your besides environment cool due to cooling effect. Even we want to drink water from your earthen pots, right? Earthen pots, surai or matka. Why? Because by evaporation they the water inside that earthen pot becomes cool. Okay, so evaporation produce cooling effect. We can see this by these kind of examples only. First question is why cube of ice 0 degree Celsius is more effective in cooling and drink them than the same quantity of water at 0 degree Celsius. You understood the question, that why is the cube of ice at 0 degree is more effective in cooling a drink than the same quantity of water?
Because of the latent, because water has latent in it.
So you can say that they will add up, right? There will be addition of heat energy. What? That makes drink to melt than your same temperature water. Okay, next question. Why weather becomes warm during a snowstorm? Becomes warm during snowstorm. बस वी नो दैट, क्योंकि जब स्नोस्टॉर्म होता है, जब स्नोस्टॉर्म होता है तो फ्रीजिंग वाटर वेपर्स, एंड वी नो दैट एवरी ग्राम ऑफ फ्रीजिंग वाटर वेपर्स लिबरेट एनर्जी, राइट? हाउ मच एनर्जी? 3.36 जूल ना. And what is this 3.36 joule? Comes from latent heat. Is this okay? say us that on a hot day it feels cool under a fan. Why we are feeling cool under the fan? What happens? Evaporation. Okay. First, if the answer they asked in one word, then you will say evaporation.